We're out here talking to Rob, Sunglass Rob, who is also an avid mountain biker, and talking about why to take time out here, time outside. So I appreciate the ride. It's been awesome.
We've had a fun day. No crashes yet, so good ride.
Go harder, I guess.
Yeah. They say you're not riding hard enough unless you crash, but
that's it. What are you all doing right?
We're nice. I think that's the number one rule at SportRx is be nice. We're nice to each other. We're nice to our coworkers. We're nice to our vendors. We're nice to the mailman. We're nice to just everybody involved in the company. Is just the level of politeness and respect and being kind. I think that goes a really, really long way.
What are your core values? Like, what do you rely on when you're leading?
You know, you sent me that question and I looked at it and I was talking to my wife about it and she's like, what are your core values? And I was like, I started going into the story about the way I try and live at work, on the bike, off the bike, with my kids, wherever, is if everyone behaved as if I behaved, would the world be a better place or not a better place? So like putting the shopping cart back, one person putting the shopping cart back at the Costco parking lot, it doesn't make a world of difference, but if everyone behaved the way you did, how does that affect the world? So that's how I try and behave. And she's like, well, that's great, but those aren't your core values. So I looked up core values and I think honesty's in there for sure. Passion, education, reliability, respect. I don't know if respect's one, but I think for me, living with passion and kind of all in, moving forward, kind of feeling alive all the time and there's meaning to things is really important.
When you're leading people, what's your philosophy? Like, how do you know when you're doing it right and when you're not?
You know, we have, so I'm the vice president of SportRx. So our president and CEO is Dan Bruton, and he's my mentor and friend, and we used to be neighbors. And I really just try and act like Dan. A lot of, like, even when you guys call me a leader, for me, it's like almost sounds weird because I'm just out there grinding away and trying to, like, what Dan's done for me is what I try and do for people. And what Dan's done for me is he's always done right by me. He's always made me feel important and has always supported me and had my back and really just helped me have a better life. If people know you have their best interests at heart, they're going to do better, but you also then have to have their best interests in heart. And that's a struggle sometimes. Sometimes you're trying to put the company first. You have to hide, you have to eat your own emotions and your own ego, which is not easy all the time.
You're a busy man. You are a head leader at a great company. You're a father. You got a lot of stuff on your plate. Is it responsible? Like, how can you make time to come out here and mountain bike?
That's a really good question. That first of all, I have an amazing, beautiful wife who's so supportive. But I think it makes me a better person. Like, being on the bike makes me happier, makes me more fit, makes me stronger mentally, physically, emotionally. It clears my head. I have way more patience. I'm just the best version of myself if I'm constantly outdoors, breathing fresh air, sometimes alone, sometimes with friends, sometimes with my favorite songs in my ears. And it's just like this release and endorphins and energy and excitement, and that carries off the bike. So we just did that kind of technical rock roll up there. It took me 2 years to earn the courage and the skills to be able to do that rock roll. And once I did that rock roll, like, you fill with pride and you're excited, and then you do that before work, and then you go to work and you're just like on another level. You just feel great. So is it better to feel great when you're at work? Yeah. Is it better to be fit and strong and have fun and gotten dirty and gotten clean? And I love that when the shower, just all the mud comes off and the water's brown, like just that feeling of accomplishment. I think that carries off the bike. So it makes me a better father for sure. It makes me more patient with the kids, a better husband. I think it makes me a better employee, a better leader, a better person to be around.
Is it just for outdoor companies to do this stuff?
Are you asking, should you be spending time outdoors?
Yeah.
I think, yes, to find a balance in life, for me, time in the outdoors is super essential. Getting away from screens, getting away from computers. Unfortunately, the phone follows you everywhere. And whatever it is that makes you tick, whatever it is that makes you happy, you got to tap into that, right? Like, a lot of people, when they have a new job or they get married, they kind of lose who they were before. And that person married you because of who you were, and that company hired you because of who you were. I think you do better at work when you have a counterpart.
Yeah.
You need that balance. Exercise, fresh air, oxygen, challenges, getting dirty. It's just so fun.
So what, mountain biking in particular, like we firmly believe that everyone should get outside and do something.
Yeah.
What have you learned about leadership from mountain biking?
Ooh. Well, mountain biking is just so fun to me. I feel like you're a little kid, right? Like when you're a kid riding bikes, that freedom. I think with mountain biking, there's a lot of progression and there's just so many levels of getting better and better and better. And there's just about taking little steps and, started on green trails, then blue trails. Now I'm up to black trails. I've done a couple double black trails. I've had to walk a lot of it, but it's always about like progression and getting better and a new challenge and getting faster and getting fitter. And leadership's the same way. It's just like there's no end to how good of a leader you can be, and there's no finish line of mountain biking. And it's just like continuous progression and working on it and getting better and focusing. Okay, I used to say, years ago, and I got really good feedback from some coworkers, I was one of those people that said I a lot. And now when I hear other people say I instead of we, it's just like, and I'm like, that was me. I was on a green trail 5 years ago, 8 years ago, right? So just that continuously getting better and progressing and yeah.
It's ironic, the faster and more aggressive you are on a bike, the better you do. Like
it's almost the safer you are.
Yeah.
And there's some weird aspects too. So like if you're climbing up a rock garden and if you just put in a little bit more effort, you would go more than that percentage faster because you float over the rocks more. Yeah. So it's almost like the faster you go, the faster you go. It's like a turbine effect.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes leadership, and a lot like mountain biking, is about letting go of the brakes, trusting yourself, trusting all the practice you've been doing, all the fitness you've been put in, all the years of skill building you've been doing. And times like now, there's no time, you got to just go. So mountain biking a lot is about commitment. Mm-hmm. Like if you commit to that line, you just got to go for it. You saw the line, you think that's the way, you let go of the brakes, you power as hard as you can through it, and you most of the time will make it. Most of my big crashes on the mountain bike has been because I didn't commit, because halfway through a feature I got nervous and I tried to stop and you can't put your foot down and then you flip over. Very rarely it was because that's the path, I'm gonna hit the path, and I picked the wrong path.
And I would bet money that you've experienced flow on a mountain bike.
It's that moment of Zen where you're not thinking about work, you're not thinking about family, you're not thinking about the ride or the trail, or you're just thinking about nothing and you're just flowing, you're just going, and you're just in this moment. And that's actually, I think, a learned skill. Like some people don't realize the more you practice that, the more you get into that Zen on the bike, the more you can do it off the bike.
Favorite thing about mountain biking?
I think that it's hard.
Yeah.
I like that it's hard. I like hard things. It's hard. It's physically super demanding. You get hurt, you got to get over that. It's not an easy sport.
One parting tip for someone who wants to be a better leader at whatever level?
I think finding a mentor is so important. Finding, like, if you have ever had a good leader and then trying to emulate that feeling that they gave you. I think it was a journey for me to kind of figure out, the I versus the we, and no, they don't work for me, I work for them.
Wrap it back up to, as you become a leader, you got to start on the greens and work to the blues.
Yeah,
and then one day, if you put in a lot of hard work and some sweat and blood and tears, you get on the double blacks.
There's pro lines too. You can even do a pro line. Who knows?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Maybe not today.
Yeah.
And then right where we started, be nice. Be nice.
I think that philosophy for me in my life, just my secret weapon in life, my superpower is smiling. If every SportRxer is happier and more fulfilled in their life and are reaching all their personal goals, isn't SportRx going to be happier and more fulfilled and reaching our company goals? So if you can help 65 people have a better life, does SportRx not have a better life?
Well, thank you very much. Yeah. I look forward to a little bit more riding, and really appreciate you taking time.
We got to do a social distancing bump, one of those.
Boom.
Yeah, that was a touch, sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Whew. All
Later.
I swear, it just fills my soul and my heart just being out here.